cracker of a hit from Chris Brown, that's Forever. My guest of the day is on the phone.
94.3.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
It's my CEO's Working From Home series, and unprecedented times call for unprecedented measures. And on the series today, Suresh Narayanan, he's Chairman and Managing Director at Nestlé India. Good morning, Suresh. I hope friends, colleagues, extended family are all safe during this COVID-19 lockdown.
Good morning, Hrishi. Great to hear you. And yes, everyone at home is fine and safe. And likewise, I do hope at your end and also with your listeners, everybody is fine, safe and secure at home.
So far, so good. I'm going to start with Nestlé India's commitment to India's big fight against COVID-19. You have been reaching out to the communities, to your own employees, to the sales force, and obviously to the operators and the people at large as well. So would you take us through all the measures, please, during this unprecedented crisis?
Sure, Hrishi. I think it's fair to say that the global pandemic that we are witness to is probably an experience that none of us have had in our living memory. No earthquake, no cyclone, no flood, and no other natural disaster has taken the kind of impact that the COVID-19 is putting on us. Therefore, as a company, Nestlé is a very old company, Hrishi. We are about 112 years old in this country. We are about 154 years old as an organization. It has always been our belief that working with the community and the prosperity and health of the community also directly influences the health of the corporation. So this has been what our founding father, Henri Nestlé, has espoused, and we have been carrying forward this purpose and value of respect in all these 154 years. So in a response to COVID-19, we have really taken a set of measures that really reflect on concerns for various sectors of society and various parts of the community that we serve and who indeed are part of our family. So the first part has been setting aside about 150 million rupees as part of our CSR funds to really look at supporting programs that could be for feeding, grocery distribution to the needy, indeed for purchase of PPE and also ventilators. Recently we gave about 1 crore of rupees to the Narayana Hridayalaya Foundation for the purchase of ventilators for Delhi. And in a similar vein, we are looking at also making contributions to other causes for those, especially for PPE and ventilators, because our doctors and those who are unfortunately afflicted need all the help and all the support that they can in the battle against this virus. The second element that we have done is, as employees of Nestlé India, and we have over 7,000 employees, we've all come together and pitched in whatever we could on a voluntary basis, and this topped up with an equal contribution by the company. This is going to the long-standing partner of Nestlé both worldwide and also in India, the Indian Red Cross, as part of the International Red Cross and present. This is again being directed towards the purchase of PPE and really funding some of the needs in our own modest way towards the enhancement of medical equipment to fight the virus.
Super stuff on the communities and employees front, sir. Up ahead, let's find out Nestlé's commitment to their distribution partners and factory operators. In conversation with Suresh Narayanan, Chairman and MD, Nestlé India. On my CEO's Working From Home series, I'm Hrishikesh, and let's enjoy some Florida now with good feeling on 94.3 Radio 1 One World, your station. Two youth icons in the worldwide music business, Ed Sheeran and Justin Bieber. That's I Don't Care. Suresh Narayanan, Chairman and Managing Director, Nestlé India, is on the phone on my CEO's Working From Home series.
94.3.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
So we were talking about areas to which you're committing energy, focus and resources during this COVID-19 crisis. Please continue, Suresh.
The third element of what we have done is, we have more than 2,000 distributors nationally, and we have more than 8 to 10,000 distributor salesmen. People with modest incomes, they go every day to the shops and they sell the products of Nestlé. They too have families, they too have responsibilities, and we have tried to reach out to all of them. And those of them who are not covered by the Employee State Insurance Corporation, the ESIC benefits, we have decided as a company that we will take their insurance under COVID, so that God forbid if something were to happen to them, then we'll be able to support them at least through this most unfortunate time in their life. The fourth element of what we have been doing is, we are a company that is rooted in the community of farmers. We have almost 100,000 farmers plus in the Punjab. Almost 60,000 of these these farmers are female. They're women dairy farmers. And for every single day since the lockdown has started, we have ensured that every drop of milk that they have supplied us, we have accepted and we have processed. I think, we sometimes tend to forget that the farm community and the farmer community are so vital to our life. And products, milk and milk products are also an essential part of what Nestlé brings to the table. And I'm very proud of renewing and proud of living up to a very trustworthy relationship of almost 60 plus years with these farmers. So I think this is something we're also doing with the wheat millers because now we have in a small way started all our factories across the country. We have had the permissions to do so, albeit on a much reduced footprint. We want to ensure that no supplier of ours goes under. And in fact, as part of this, I have been very upfront with my employees that we will not look at any retrenchment at this stage. I have no business looking and trampling on their self-respect because a job is far more than a salary. It is a symbol of self-respect for the human. And I don't think as a well-intentioned, as a decent, ethical company, that should be something that I should even think of. However, we look at other means of curtailing our costs in order to ensure that we stay afloat. Last but not the least, I think our employees, they have been extremely supportive and cooperative. I think the level of morale and spirit is extremely high. Work from home is a first of its kind. We have never done it. I have never done it in all my almost 4 decades of service. This is the first time that I'm working from home. This means a lot of adaptation, adjustment, psychological redirection, discovery of relationships within the family. How do you manage children, husband, in-laws, and also manage your profession if you're a woman professional? These are not easy times. And we have got a number of outreach programs, both training and also medical related. We're providing free medical advice to our employees online from accredited doctors in India and overseas if they have any doubts or any issues on either health or indeed on COVID-related matters. So in every sense of the term, Hrishi, what we have tried to do is to reach out to all segments of the community, stakeholders, partners who impact us and who are impacted by us to try and protect the ecosystem as best as we can, like a banyan tree does to the ground beneath. That is really the role that we look at in the Nestlé family, and it is my proud privilege to be sharing this.
That's a wonderful analogy about the banyan tree. More up ahead in this riveting conversation with Suresh Narayanan. He's Chairman and Managing Director, Nestlé India. Slipping in some Taylor Swift now. This one's called The Man. I'm Hrishikesh. Nickelback's banging rock music, that's a lullaby. It's my CEO's Working From Home series. And another inspirational business leader, Suresh Narayanan, Chairman and Managing Director, Nestlé, is speaking to me during this COVID-19 lockdown.
94.3. This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
I'm also very intrigued how captains of the industry are handling their time at home. Rajesh Ramakrishnan from Perfetti told me that he's spending more time with his daughter and more time helping around household chores. Harsh Mariwala from Marico told me that nothing much has changed. He gets up very early in the morning and he's at it doing video calls with colleagues, employees and extended charities. Your personal timetable as CEO and MD, do you set yourself a timetable at all or do you just go with the flow, the working from home thing?
Well, one of the things that I do is, I am Hrishi very much of an old school officeman. I've been career-wise in Nestlé for a long time, and I'm used to going to the office. I'm used to the what you would call the humdrum of work, as it were. So what I try and do is to try and keep to that schedule here. So I have a desk here. I have my laptop. I have all the accompaniments of my office set aside, which I come to and try and hit at 9 o'clock in the morning, which is when I normally hit the office table as well in my usual office. I try and keep a similar kind of regime so that I don't feel very much out of place or I don't get impacted by the fact that I'm working from home. I do have, of course, more time with the family. I think that is definitely most welcome. I think it's also a time for a lot of reflection and rejuvenation because you never get. I was telling my wife yesterday that I've never seen our house at 6 p.m. in the evening. I mean, I usually come in much later and leave also in the morning. So therefore, and I travel 15, 20 days a month. So I've never seen the sunset beautifully in our apartment or indeed what the evening hues or the morning hues look like. And I think that is giving me a lot of joy and a lot of positivity. I try and keep myself, Hrishi, as positive as possible. I am engaged with my team on like Harsh is and like Rajesh is, connecting with my people on various Microsoft Team or Zoom or Skype, whichever mode of communication I've got. This is not my normal management style. My management style is walking around the office, talking to people, meeting with them, having light banter, and also picking up issues that are of relevance to the company. But I try and make do similar conversation, albeit digitally. But I look at it as a purpose and a cause that I have to serve at this moment. And if I keep myself positive, if I keep myself optimistic, if I offer hope, then I think that is the job of leadership. Not having all the answers, but offering hope, offering empowerment, and offering ways out of this very, very dark tunnel that we find ourselves in.
Wonderful. The hope of deliverance is what I call it. Suresh Narayanan, Chairman MD Nestlé, speaking to me this morning. Still more to come. Hang by as I play you some Shaggy and Love Me. This is 94.3 Radio 11 World, your station, and I'm Hrishikesh. Akon with Beautiful. My guest of the day heads a company whose relationship with India dates back to the year 1912. They facilitated direct and indirect employment and provided livelihood to about 1 million people, including farmers, suppliers of packaging materials, services, and other goods. It's Nestlé, and giving you more now is Chairman and Managing Director Suresh Narayanan.
94.3. This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
I want to now look at your portfolio of products. I mean, you've got the very traditional Indian favorites, which are dahi and raita, and then you have the so-called cooler ones like the Kit Kats and the bar ones. And of course, Maggi and Nescafe and Milkmaid are products that we've all grown up with. There have been more modern versions of the milk being slim milk. I know it's like asking a parent which would be his favorite child, and it's a very difficult choice to make. Let me rephrase that question by asking you about, amongst all the brands, business-wise, which have been the favorites, which have been the ones that have caused you a little bit of a challenge. So, favorites and challenges.
Look, I think, it's like asking a parent which child of yours is a favorite. So, therefore, I will not play favorites with my brands. I think each one of them, whether it is Maggi, Nescafe, Kit Kat, Milkmaid, Munch, Everyday, you name it, all of these brands have been around for a while. They have stood for trust. They have, we've been blessed, Hrishi, as a company, with enormous blessings of the consumers over generations. So, I'm deeply, deeply grateful. I mean, a brand like Milkmaid is a 155-year-old brand. It's a very, very old brand. And I think it has been a trustworthy partner to many homes. And sweet moments in our lives have come with Milkmaid. So these brands, like human beings, they carry memories. And you have a lot of memories about these brands in your own youth and as you grow up. And I think that's what remains. During this crisis, I think our milk and nutrition products have really been in huge demand. I mean, people need it because it's an important part of their portfolio. Of course, Maggi noodles has been, as much, I really want to take this opportunity to assure all your listeners that I am trying my damnedest along with my 7,000 employees who work in this company to try and see how quickly we are able to ramp up the production for Maggi to get it across, because I know there are numerous bachelors and numerous young people who depend on a Maggi sometimes to land up on their plate. If not just as a source of comfort, but also to assure themselves that the world is normal and that their old friend Maggi hasn't betrayed and hasn't forgotten them. So we do have brands like this. Nescafe is again doing extremely well. So many parts of the portfolio are clicking fairly well in this difficult situation, because these brands have been around and they have established a hallmark of quality, trust, and credibility over many years, over many generations. We count ourselves as a company that has given happy moments to many, whether it is with a Kit Kat break or with starting the day with Nescafe or indeed with Maggi. And we hope to continue serving consumers in our own way as best as we can in come hail or high water. This might be a hail situation for us or a high water situation for us, but I think we will be there to serve the consumers.
I like the complete lack of ego, serving the consumer. That's the only way businesses will get through this crisis, or indeed any crisis. Stay with us as I tread some more interesting territory with Chairman and Managing Director of Nestlé, that's Suresh Narayanan. Let's do some Robin Thicke with Nicki Minaj. They're together. It's a song called Back Together. Enjoy 94.3 Radio 11 World, your station. My name is Hrishikesh. Mark Anthony's fabulous vocals on a collaboration with Pitbull, a song called Rain Over Me. All the major captains of the industry, people who have driven the India Inc. story, I'm proud to say, are on my CEO's Working From Home series. Today it's Suresh Narayanan, Chairman and Managing Director of Nestlé India.
94.3. This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
You're an FMCG veteran, if I could call you that. Your early days with Colgate-Palmolive, then HUL, and then you've served Nestlé in various capacities across the world. So, somebody who's gone through verticals, whether it's sales, marketing, food services. So, your favorite business leaders, captains of the industry who've inspired you. I mean, many would say Suresh Narayanan inspires me. So, if for you, as a young person coming out of, let's say, your degree in economics, and then now, subsequently, after so many years of experience, people who've inspired you, CEOs who've really done it for you in terms of their career and work and their ideology.
Rishi, I have not just a favorite as an inspiration, as a business leader, but I'll also mention somebody who's not a business leader, who's also been a source of enormous inspiration for me and continues to have that inspiration. I think the business leader whom I greatly admire, and I never had the privilege of meeting him, but I've read about him and have noticed the footprint that he has left, is J.R.D. Tata. I think the epitome of decency, of professionalism, of vision, of serving the country, of creating institutions which are hallmarks of excellence. I mean, the Air India that we talk about, the Air India in the time of J.R.D. Tata was very, very different. Whether it is Tata Motors or what was then called was called Telco, Tata Engineering and Locomotive Company, or indeed many of the other great TCSs of the world. All of these have been created by this giant of a man who had enormous humility, enormous compassion, but huge amounts of love for the community and for the people that he served. So I think for me, J.R.D. is an all-time great, not just as a business leader, but also as a human being. And I think the second person whom I really get inspired by is my maternal grandmother, my Pati, as I call her, as Nani that I used to call her, my mother's mother. I think a diminutive lady, less than 5 feet tall, but with enormous wisdom, with enormous goodwill wherever she went. And I think she, in a sense, inspired me on the importance of people and the importance of relationships. So it is my maternal grandmother and it is my J.R.D. Tata who are the people who have inspired me. So I don't have a repertoire of 20 businessmen who have inspired me. It is one businessman that I like to talk about, and many influences. And I've had the privilege of working at Hindustan Unilever, which had some giants, absolute giants, whether Dr. Ganguly or Mr. Dadi Seth or Mr. S.M. Datta. I mean, these are all Mr. Gopalakrishnan. These are all giant professionals that I've had the privilege of learning from, and they will never go away from my memory. As indeed at Colgate and also at Nestlé, people like Peter Brabeck and Paul Bulke and others. These are people who have inspired me immensely. But I think if there's one person that I would keep right up there on my pedestal, it would be J.R.D. Tata.
Wonderful answer. Favorite books? Are you a voracious reader at all? Do you get the time? And books, authors who have influenced you?
I do read, Hrishi, but not as voraciously as I would like to. So my reading is quite selective. I think the book that I read recently, and which is really a book for these times, it's called Ikigai, the Japanese secret to a long and happy life, written by two wonderful gentlemen, Hector Garcia and Francesco Miralles. This book really made me reflect, because it talks about purpose and being, and why you should pursue the thing that moves you and the thing that really gets your purpose best out. As we look at this pandemic that is swirling the world, we realize as human beings and the slightly older people like me do realize the sheer fragileness of human life, and the fact that you're here today, you're gone tomorrow, and you don't have too much of time on the planet, and the arrogance and bluster and hubris that we have carried as human beings in commanding nature. I think nature very gently, firmly, and this time with brutal force has told us who's the boss. That nature, she is the boss, and you as a human being are just one player amongst many, many players. So it's a moment of intense humility. It's a moment of reflection, but it's also a moment to cherish the things that you love in your life, the things that matter, the relationships that matter, the friends that matter. We all work at corporates. We all believe in creating enormous shareholder value, and we all believe in creating huge organizations with enormous wealth. What about looking at personal value, which is really your value in terms of relationships, impact, and the things that you love to do and the things that you're doing? So to me, this book was deeply influential, and I think I would recommend that to everyone, to all your listeners to read it. It's a very short book, all of 150 to 200 pages, so it's not a long read, very easy read. I think a very deeply influential read, if I were to say that.
Lovely. A last leg of my flagship CEOs Working From Home series. Suresh Narayanan, Chairman and Managing Director, Nestlé on the home stretch. For now, it's K-Show at TikTok. This is 94.3 Radio 1 World, your station. I'm Hrishikesh. Diana King's powerful singing, that shy guy. What a fulfilling conversation this morning with Suresh Narayanan, Chairman and Managing Director, Nestlé India. I've been picking his brain on measures taken by them to battle the COVID-19 virus and also finding out more about his stellar career. A last leg.
94.3
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
You're a very well-traveled man. You worked in Egypt and Singapore and the Philippines and, of course, here in India. A favorite travel destination, a destination that you've gone to and you with family or even alone and said, wow, this is amazing. This is kind of like paradise.
Well, I've, my wife and I have been to a location in Egypt when we were there. It is in the desert bordering Libya called Adrere Amela. It is a mountain and surrounded, you've got an oasis that's close by, and it's a beautiful crafted place which its scenic beauty is just magic. And Adrere Amela, the hotel itself, is made of all natural materials. So you have walls made of mortar and walls made of mud, and it's in a very old Egyptian style. It's a very famous place with cuisine that is to die for. I mean, the lunch is invariably vegetarian, and the dinner, of course, has some meat dishes. But my wife and I are both vegetarians, and the chef was a Sufi chef. Therefore, you can imagine the influence that he brought on the cuisine. But Adrere Amela in the northern desert bordering Libya probably be one of my favorites that I would love to go back to if I had the opportunity one day.
Business leaders have very fond memories of academia when they went to college. Some talk about welcoming freshers, others talk about participating in debates. You have a master's from D School, the Delhi School of Economics. You also studied briefly in the London Business School. So any memories from your campus days, or your days as a student, something fond that comes to mind?
Hrishi, the most fond memories I have is neither of what I studied at the Delhi School of Economics or indeed by college. I mean, those are very, very happy days. But my formative days, I went to a school called Hrishi Valley, which is part of the Krishnamurti Foundation, place called Madanapalli in Andhra Pradesh. Fabulous school, 350 kids, 150-acre campus, all natural. You can imagine fountains and water fountains and mountains and rivers and rivulets and what have you. So it was probably the most magical place that I've been to in my life. I spent 5 years of schooling there at the time when J. Krishnamurti was himself alive. I got to hear him then, never understood then because I was much younger. But today, as I reflect on it, I see the deep impact that J. Krishnamurti and Hrishi Valley has had on my values, on the way I look at life, on the way life has evolved, and the way I've looked at my being. So it is a deeply embedded, scotched in my heart and in my head. And I think those 5 years I count as the fondest memories that I have. My school years at Hrishi Valley.
Remarkable. My last question talks about a music concert or a gig that you've attended. I mean, irrespective of genre, whether you like Carnatic or Hindustani classical or rock and roll or jazz, is there a music concert that you've been to recently or in the past that you really enjoyed being in the audience?
I've been to quite a few, Hrishi, but the ones that I think one that I went to relatively recently, which I thought was absolutely fabulous. It was here in Delhi at the Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium. It was a musical recreation of Mughal-e-Azam that was directed by Firoz Abbas Khan. It was, I think, a fabulous production of the old love story between Anarkali and the prince, and I think it was so beautifully produced, and the dialogues and the music was absolutely scintillating. So that was a very enjoyable evening for me and my wife.
Suresh Narayanan, Chairman and Managing Director, Nestlé India. This has been such an insightful conversation. Thank you for being on my CEOs Working From Home, and thank you for Nestlé and your commitment towards the nation in this time of crisis in the COVID-19 lockdown. And I hope to speak to you in happier climes. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Hrishi. I really thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk to you and through you to all your listeners. It is my fervent plea and hope that all your listeners are safe at home, they are secure, that they are happy, they continue to be positive about life and about the fact that we will come out of this as a nation, as a people, and as a family. Thank you very much.
Robin Schulz and Lily Wood with a super track called Prayer and Sea, right here on 94.3 Radio 1 World, your station. My name is Hrishikesh.